It's all the rage to limp.
It hurts.
I read it in her face.
Your foot. Hi everybody.
Hi.
I'm very frightened. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not a fucking journalist. I'm not Michael Parkins, and I don't know how to ask questions.
You know, used to answering them, huh?
Not even that. But I don't know, I just have a very personal kind of response to this stuff and the history of my own life of it. So I thought I would just ask you a couple of things that came to me with it. And also I'm under strict instructions from Gita.
Oh, which reminds me, we forgot before because we were, believe it or not, a little bit nervous, but we wanted to thank Gita and Speakeasy Cinema and all the people who made it possible for Psychic TV to come to Australia for the very first time ever. We played in Adelaide at the festival and it was amazing. People are really friendly. We had no idea how many people were interested, but we've always had this desire to get to Australia, and now we're here, and that's why we're doing an extra gig tomorrow night. So it will be a full-on Psychic TV extravaganza.
And the usual muck from the Primitive Calculators.
Yes. And the rest of the muck from us in that case. Let's throw muck.
Yeah, okay, so this is a beautiful love story. This is, and to me, this is, when I look into the eyes of another human being, I kind of have this experience of something there that I know, but something there that's ultimately unfathomable too. And it seems to me that one aspect of what you were trying to do was to kind of challenge that unfathomability and to like you said at the start of it, when you fall in love, you're drunk, you're intoxicated, you want to fall into that thing with that person, surrender, give over to it, go as far into, it's like an invitation to the drunkenness of another person. And you feel like you go actually further into that, to challenge that loneliness, the solipsism of being a person. But I just wonder how far was it possible to go, and did you find limits and the frustrations of when I look into the eyes of my lover, there's still something there that I just don't know.
Wow, that's a beautiful question and thought. I mean, it's absolutely true that Jaye and myself fell in love instantly, and it was like tumbling into, which she used to call me the White Rabbit. And she sort of saw me as the white rabbit that drew her into this magical place where there was nothing refused on any level, which she'd never had happen in her life before, for various reasons, childhood and so on, Catholic parents, all those kinds of things. And also just being a woman in New York who ran away from home at 14 and put herself through nursing college by being a dominatrix, and also got involved in experimental theatre and performance. So she was, although she was so much younger than me in years, actually far more sophisticated. So to me the mystery was, how did she become so incredible, so fast, and how fantastic to finally be proven right in my fantasy from childhood that there has to be someone else in this world, on this planet, that can feel the same way and be the same way and reflect in a sort of positive way, not in a sort of consuming way, but actually reflect so that things just spiral more and more powerfully upwards into something beyond imagination.
That there's the chemical concept of miscibility, of how much two things can mix, and the sort of compounds that are produced, and the gas and energy and all the other things that are produced is something that I thought of when I looked at this too. And Marie, when I spoke to her about the making of the film, she said sometimes just the energy of the intimacy was so strong she had to go away.
Yeah. Well, we used to have little sayings, we still do. See a cliff, jump off. When in doubt, be extreme. And so we would taunt each other to always push, and we still are. As far as we're concerned, we'd already decided this project would go on beyond physical, bodily existence. That's one of the reasons she would always say the body's a cheap suitcase. It just carries around the mind for a while, and then you throw it away. And so we've always intended to, if it's at all possible, reconvene in another place outside time and space. One might say another dimension, maybe another world, another galaxy where one continues with the adventures. But we've never ever believed there was an end in sight, and there shouldn't be an end in sight. There should always be more, and it should always be challenging and amazing and shared.
Okay. What else did I want to ask? So I told you I couldn't do this.
You're doing really well. You're saying some amazing things.
When I was a teenager in the 1970s, and I wanted to make music that shocked or seduced people into freedom, as teenagers like to do. So when I heard Throb and Gristle, what I got from it, DOA was the big album that really affected me and my mid. Was that 1976 or something?
78, it came out.
Yeah, 78. And I realised at the time that in order to do that, there had to be an element of taking people with you as well as going, bah! In their face. And we knew that anything could be music, and that there was a fabulous musical sublime in the mundanity of everyday sound from John Cage. We had all of that. But what I got from Throb and Gristle was not the possibilities of what music could be and do, but of song, and the form of song, and what could be considered a song. And
thank you. You're the first person who realised it. I've been waiting for somebody to tell me that. 35.
And so I looked at Throb and Gristle, which had a really big impact on me. There was the Ramones, and there was Throb and Gristle, and there was the first Suicide album. These are things that changed my life as a teenage musician. And I see it as part of something that includes ABBA, and that includes January by Pilot.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Sick and tired, you've been hanging on me. Yeah.
Cozy was a stripper for a while, and they used to strip to songs like that. I have a weird memory of pop music, sleeve removed bras, and strings everywhere when I hear all that 70s pop.
So I'm